Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm Jasmine. And we're on a tangent. So, today, we have a very special guest. Emily! It's Emily.
Whee! That's me. Hello.
She's English. And we've known each other since we were 5.
Yes.
Ooh.
Preschool.
Preschool.
Ooh.
Yeah. God.
Good times. And we're going to be talking about school today.
Ooh, and if you can tell from the title, specifically, the awkward memories from school. And that's going to be sad. Because I have a lot of awkward memories from school.
High school awkward phase. That's fun.
We're also going to spill some tea.
Some big tea.
Pieces.
Some big tea.
We're going to talk about the big events that happened at school, like the events.
Yeah.
So, what was the thing at your school?
Yeah.
Also, stick around for Jasmine's book club at the end, and check the link for our mystery video.
Yes.
The mystery video today links with our guest very well. It's a spirit animal.
So Emily and I went to primary school together, and I don't remember much aside from the big thing was Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
What's that?
Kids used to go into the bathroom and say Bloody Mary 3 times and freak out.
Yeah, they'd do it. And then because there'd be like window grate things at the top, you'd hear them screaming.
They were so
Like
loud.
primary, like preschool, like
No,
primary
yeah,
school.
primary
like
school.
early-ish sort of primary
Yeah,
Oh my
school.
year
God.
3. Year 3. Oh, people were going ape shit over it.
That's you're supposed to do it with a candle as well. That's so monkey.
people-
Yeah, they'd like turn off the lights and shit. It was very...
I was peeing one time.
And then they turned the light off.
Yeah, I was trying to pee. And I was like, I never wanted to be a part of it because it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I was peeing, and the girls come in and turn off the light and start doing it. I'm like, no. I start like crying.
Nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
At least you're on the toilet when you piss yourself. Woo! Joke of the year.
Awful.
But yeah, so we all went to high school together because you went to a different primary school. But
yes, Waniasa represent.
Yeah.
yeah, high school.
And we went to Waniasa again. Represent.
Ooh.
Waniasa High School. It's so... Oh,
Yeah.
It was great.
it was
It
pretty
was
good.
great.
We all went to public, schools in Australia, suburban Australia, so there's lots of crazy stuff there.
Lots of racism.
Lots of...
Lots of racism.
Oh, yeah, true. Right.
Ben, tell us a story from your primary school.
Yeah, we went to different ones.
Yeah.
Alright, so there was this really racist and sexist teacher,
Oh no.
and we'll call him...
Mr.
Miss-
James.
Mr. James Bond. Mr. Bond! And he actually threatened to choke me, like, unironically. That's like,
Yeah,
it's not even funny. Like, I was supposed to be there, and I was doing, like, painting for the school indoors. And then he walked in and he's like, are you supposed to be painting right now? And I was. I was supposed to be painting. Or, no, it wasn't painting.
Hanging up decorations.
Yeah, like stringers.
Yeah.
And the student who was in charge, like the representative, came and talked to him, and like we said, oh, this other teacher gave us permission, and then I kept doing it. And then he's like, if you make another one of those stringers, I'm gonna put it around your neck. And I'm like,
my
what the
God.
fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing nothing wrong here, sir.
Your parents almost got him fired for that.
Literally, if I was not in year 6, like almost done with primary school,
Yeah.
I would have gotten him fired, because I would have been stuck with him for another few years. But they're like, it's like a few days until you're like finished. Just don't bother, leave. Oh my god. I'm like, this is why I hate all authority now.
Oh man.
Yeah, growing up and realizing that not all adults are correct all the time is it's a very awakening.
It made me like my own person quicker, but not quick enough, because I'm still quite stupid. I have like, that was still primary school, so I still continued to make the same mistakes in high school. But now I think I'm more my own person because of those events. Like, I wouldn't trade them off, because I'd be more garbage if they weren't.
Yeah.
I think, anyway. Maybe I'd be nicer.
God.
Alright, here's a college story that we hinted at last time, the chair episode, about the time I fell asleep in the piano room. We have a lot of videos in the piano room, don't we?
Yes, we do, and we're gonna make a compilation of them. So
Oh, it was the promo compilation, wasn't it?
yeah.
It's gonna be pretty good.
It's so good. There was a piano room that you can like barge open. It doesn't actually lock, and so Ben used to go and sleep in there every free line he had because he was just so fucking tired all the
Mattress
time.
in there and everything.
I remember one time Emily and I were like done with art and we had a free line. I think it was line 6 that we had off, and so we're like, Ben, where are you? And he's like, I'm in the piano room. Just bust in. And so we do, and Emily's like, what the fuck?
Because I didn't know.
Yeah, neither did I. And there's just a whole mattress in there.
Like a blanket, a pillow, straight up mattress. I'm like, are you okay, Ben? He's
Welcome to my hideout. And the story is, though, I had a free line and I snuck in, and it was on the last free line of the day, and I thought I'd have a nap before I head home, and then I ended up sleeping until 8 p.m.
What?
Yeah, when the school.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
have you not heard this?
At 8 p.m?
Yeah. And my parents are like, where are you? And I said, oh, I have Grease rehearsal, like a production for the school, like a drama production. And I said, I'm still at the rehearsal. And then I had to like break out of the school.
I did not know that. Wow, we'd be learning things.
And I think Wilson Security is in charge of the school, so I might have actually like...
He could have gotten in really big trouble
Oh my god.
because he's
I would have
sleepy.
I would have just got a slap on the wrist, I'll be honest. But like literally, oh my god. That's the worst story in college I have. Like the most embarrassing.
The most embarrassing story I have from college was someone stole my milk.
Your milk.
Yeah, I was in the art room and I had put a note on my milk because there's a fridge in the art room, and it was like, please don't use, because it was out of my own money. It wasn't for the class, and it was small, and I come in and I see people using it, and I'm like, what the hell, man? So I take the milk. So I take
you walk up to them, you grab the milk from them, and you're like, this is mine. You're not allowed to use this. And then they're like, everybody else has been using the other things in the fridge. It's like, no, this is mine. This is my personal one.
Yeah, I think their argument was like, oh, people used my milk, so
Yeah.
I can use other people's milk. Like, literally, they were like, oh, well, people use my milk. And it's like, well, then you're just as good as those people, so fuck you.
If you make
Fuck
that
you.
argument, everything just becomes the Wild West.
Yeah. Yeehaw, fellas.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, this is from a high school trip. Do you remember the high school trip when Nick Christmas?
Okay, so
Making up names.
I love the name Nick Christmas. That's the name.
we're gonna be talking about this beautiful boy named Nick Christmas.
He was a scandalous boy. He comes up in a lot of stories because he was
Yes,
a little bit
Yes.
monkey.
he does. And there was like a school trip every other year, and this was a year 9 and 10 trip.
Yes.
And so we were in year 9 and we were going out with the year 10s all the way to Queensland. And they decided it'd be a great idea to get a bus all the way from Canberra
To
to
Melbourne.
Queensland.
Oh, Queensland.
Yeah, this is the Queensland
All
trip.
the tippy top of Australia.
Yeah, so that's it. How long was that bus ride?
I
20
would,
hours?
I would say it was about 10, 11 hours. 11, oh, no. Maybe 14 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it was
Dude.
14 hours.
On a bus with a bunch of high school
Yeah,
kids.
and no, hardly any breaks. And what was the first thing you did when you got there to Queensland?
The teachers decided that it was a good
Oh
idea
my god.
because no one is very good at sleeping on transportation. So they were like, hey, let's just go to the water park immediately. Like, legitimately, get off
Oh
the
my
bus.
god. Like, did you drive overnight?
Yeah. No one got any sleep. We all got off the bus, immediately went to the water park, not even dropped our stuff off at the hotel.
That's
or
how you
anything.
drown 20 kids.
Yep.
Just like,
Sleep deprivation. Like, I remember me and my friend didn't get sleep for like 2 days straight. It was awful.
Oh my...
ouch. Like, actually.
Yeah, I know. I remember we got into bed the first time. It was
But
like,
what
oh
did
my
Nick
God.
Christmas do on this bus?
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it was at the hotel. It was awful. So,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
this was at the hotel. Yeah.
No. This is
no.
another story.
Another story.
On the bus,
On the
Emily.
bus.
Oh, the bus.
Yeah, Nick Christmas apparently asked. Like, I don't want to tell the story. It's actually
Emily.
awkward phase, embarrassing.
This is tea. This is piping hot tea.
This is...
Well,
I mean, it's a bit old, so it's cooled down a bit, but it's still piping hot.
It's still piping hot tea.
when somebody loves somebody else and they get very close.
On the bus!
And they're 15 and very hormonal.
Oh my god.
A girl will offer a boy a hand job. And so...
Fucking hell, Nick.
Christmas.
And
Yeah.
imagine the smell.
No!
No, I don't want to imagine the smell.
in a small bus full of teenagers. I mean...
There were people left and right. Like, I can't believe. I don't think they got away with it. But
to be fair, I don't think it's just like young teenagers. People continue to do that their whole life. I have a story from college where they were in the drama room, like the changing room, and two guys were almost gave each other a blowjob. They had their pants down, and it was like almost there. And then the stage manager walked in almost immediately, and he went, "Oh!" and he closed the door.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine that?
That is awful.
And that's the stage. That's the changing rooms we used for Greece. The one that I had to change in, and I just find that hilarious.
So every time you walked in there, you're like,
That's where someone got a blowjob.
Yeah. Ben was the lead in a production. How fun.
Oh yeah, we've literally never talked about you doing Grease on this show.
I did it twice this episode already.
Yeah.
Because that's awkward phase right there.
No, it's
It was
not.
like last year.
It was your peak.
Late
No, I'm
last
kidding.
year.
Ben peaked
No.
at Greece.
Like Danny Zuko. Wow.
The
Wow.
lead, and you did a really good job.
Thank you. Some nights my voice was just dead though. I'm not gonna lie.
I loved it. I went and saw it twice, and I did Ben's makeup for it, and he was amazing.
The makeup was like so good.
Thank you.
Aw.
Do you know what my favorite thing that you've ever done is? I love it when you give me accidental compliments. So we have a D&D group which will do a podcast episode on it in the future, and I did someone's makeup because we were doing dress up because we're adults and
To be fair, the photos are really good. Like everyone is in character, and
yeah, it's beautiful. And so I did scars on someone's face, and Ben was talking to them and was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had scars there." And Zach's like, "No, Jasmine did them." And Ben's like, "Oh."
and then I said they're garbage.
Oh my god.
We have multiple stories. You want to go? Do you want to like quick fire the Nick Christmas stories?
Oh my god, that kid. I swear to god. He was like the quintessential student of the school.
Of
Like,
chaos.
Everybody knew him, right? He was like the leader.
Yeah, I think he was actually the student representative.
He was.
I think he was very representative of the school, to be fair.
The first time Mark met this kid was on a band camp thing. What was it? A band performance, and it was with multiple.
Like recital?
Yeah, it was with multiple schools, and they meet him for the first time because they went to different primary
Oh
schools.
shit! No, I know this story.
Yeah. And so what happens is the first time that this kid meets Mark, he finds an up and go on a bus,
Like
an opened old up and go with stuff still in it. He picks it up, shakes it, realizes there's things in there still, and fucking goes to town and slurps on it. And Mark's like, okay.
What the fuck? Imagine
Awful.
that. Just like an old rotted, like milked up and go.
Oh, talking of milk, he also used to, every single break, he would buy heaps of oaks from the canteen and then open them up and place them in places around the school. So when people got back after break, it would all be stinky.
Because it's Australia, very hot. So
Yeah.
it's gonna get even worse.
Over summer break, literally.
So it would ferment for like 3 months. In the 40 C temperatures,
Oh my
40
God.
Celsius temperatures, hot milk, stored in cupboards, so it's all, as soon as you open that cupboard, it would stink up the whole room.
Were you on you were about to tell the story about the hotel though.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of this, but I wasn't there.
Was one of the most craziest things I've ever heard, and it didn't sound real because it was so crazy. So yeah, leader of the school, like you look to this kid all the time to be like, I need to be like this guy, and then all of a sudden at the hotel room in Queensland, he decides that I'm just going to climb up the outside on the balconies to another hotel room and just shit in their shower. I was like, sure, man, you do you, honey. Like, I heard about it, and I was like, this is...
I shit in the shower for efficiency.
Oh my god.
Dude, oh my god.
It was awful. Like, you wouldn't think he would do something like that, and then he does it, and it's like,
Like,
oh,
you
God.
never expect Nick to be that sort of guy. And then,
No.
And then he just ends up being that sort of guy, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it was true, and we found out it was true. Because...
Wasn't he like he was restricted?
Yeah, because the teachers were like, if you do something bad, we're going to either send you home from Queensland to Canberra.
On his own.
On, like, a plane or some shit. And, or we'll restrict you from doing one of the activities that you've paid for or something like that. And he was restricted from doing, like, one of the smaller activities, so it was like... Okay.
It's because everyone loved him. He was incredibly charming.
And so we found out it was true because he just
Ted
was
Bundy.
sitting
Ted
on...
Bundy. He was Ted Bundy.
Oh my god.
Oh my
no.
lord.
He
also used to throw bags
Yeah.
onto poles.
yeah.
Oh man.
There was in high school there was a specific courtyard for the year 7s because it was a year 7 to 10 school. So you're like new to high school, so you want to be in like your own space with kids that your age, not the big kids or anything.
Yeah, so it was
And
separate.
yeah, the big kids got into the courtyard and decided to throw... There was a big pole just sticking out, and they decided to throw people's backpacks, over the pole, and the strap would get stuck, and it's like, I can't get the bag. Ugh, it was awful. And people's bags would just pile up on that pole, and just couldn't get them off.
That's actually so good.
It's awful.
Also, people used to throw things in there. There was a perfect point on, like, the stairs leading up to the art room, and you could, like, launch apples and they'd make it into the courtyard. Because there was, like, an outdoor part, and then there was a corridor into the rest of the school, and then there was another open part in the middle of all those corridors. That was the year 7 courtyard. And so you would stand on the stairs leading up to the art room, and you'd have a really good high ground, and you'd just chuck apples and sandwiches and shit.
like mortar. The
Yeah.
year 7s.
Yeah. And so that's
Dude,
why...
apples are hard. Like
Dude, I'm talking of Nick Christmas. This is a not that good of a story. But it was just tragic. He was, because he was, like, a leader, like a school leader, he was teaching, like, we were in year 7, and he was helping us, like, navigate the school and, like, helping us do things.
Was he actually a school leader?
Yes, he was.
Like, I actually...
For the whole time he was
It's
there.
in the back of my mind, but I barely remember it.
Yeah,
Like,
at assemblies it would be like he would speak and be like, I'm the school leader.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
and so what ended up happening was he was playing basketball and, like, having a good time because it was a fairly big courtyard. I don't think there was a basketball hoop in there. People were just playing with balls, and people used to
What, I want to answer.
Yeah.
No, there was basketball hoops.
Yeah, no, but in the year 7 courtyard.
It was a handball court.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a handball court.
Oh,
But
yeah, there's no basketball.
He had a basketball in there.
Yeah.
And so, I was just sitting down with a girl, she's really, really nice. She ended up not being able to come to school a lot because she had really weak bones. I'm not exactly sure what it was.
Bone
but-
atrophy.
Yep. And so, he hit her in the back of the head really hard with a fucking basketball.
Oh my God.
And this is the girl who stopped coming to school because her cat jumped on her and her ribs broke. And she got slammed in the back of the head with a basketball.
Oh my god, no!
And so she was fine. She was
Bam,
totally
brain
fine.
damage.
Thank God she was okay.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
surprisingly, but yeah, it was really funny.
Oh my God.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't funny. It's funny in retrospect, but it wasn't at the time.
Jesus. Yeah, high school's pretty crazy.
High school, we have so many more stories. It was a 4-year period that just felt like a fever dream.
Do you remember Miss Answer's history class?
I do. Oh my... Okay.
This is so cursed.
This
you
is-
have Miss Answer?
There was so many...
I
Oh my
did.
God.
In fact,
So
I
much...
did.
So much shit happened in Miss Answer's history class. That was during the Ebola scare, and she went back to her
no.
home, literally in Africa, but so far away from anything to happen. Like, it was in the continent, but, like, it wasn't
Yeah.
close. And then everyone was like, is she gonna come back and give us a bowl?
Everyone was
Like,
being fucking
Those
nasty.
stupid high school kids.
Are we gonna get Ebola from Miss Answer? And everyone was like...
No, yeah, that was so bad.
And literally, this kid named... Coming up with another name here. Call him John.
Good old John.
Good old Jonathan, and he would say Ebola just every once in a while. That was a thing that used to happen, like Ebola and Kobe. That was just a thing that everyone used to do. Mm-hmm. But
I know, yeah.
And
damn.
I was talking to Jonathan recently, and he just said, "Oh yeah, Miss Ans's history class. Did you ever think I acted weird?" And I said, "Yeah, you're usually quite like a polite, handsome man. Like, I give you a handshake."
He is.
He was a bit of a rascal.
Yeah.
A ragamuffin, if you will. But, like, he was polite. He was, like, very polite. But sometimes he was just a bit off in that history class. And that's what I told him. And he said, yeah, that's because sometimes I would just take a lot of MDMA before
What?
like, a lot of Molly before doing that, going into... This is high school. You're, like, 15.
Where did he even get it?
Literally. And how did he make the money?
Oh my god.
And I'm like, that explains a lot. Like, it explained a lot about that class. About, like, the heck... Oh, do you remember that girl who was giving an oral presentation and she just threw her phone into the wall?
Oh, yeah!
Like, it stuck in the wall.
She got embarrassed and she just threw her phone.
You know what annoys me about that girl, though? Is because she's always talking in class. Like, literally, she will distract the whole class by being, like, a little bastard. And then she'd go up to give an oral presentation, and apparently then she's not embarrassed. Yeah. I mean, apparently then she's embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then she'll throw her phone into the wall.
Yeah.
That's so, like, knee-jerk. That sounds... Oh, I can't...
Whoosh! The sound, the drywall.
Yeah, because speech is supposed to be like serious, and then I just can't. I can picture that and just like flinging your phone while you're trying to do an oral presentation,
like a frisbee.
Like, what? Are you okay?
Oh my god! Like, oh.
That's a big what the fuck moment.
All right, how about our embarrassing memories? Specifically, Jasmine, you ate a note.
Oh yeah, okay. This is pretty embarrassing. Oh. Yeah, I think
ate a note. Like a note.
Yes. Okay, so I was passing notes like a good student would, and it had personal information about another student in the class, and I didn't want to read it out loud, and so the teacher asked me to, so I just put it in my mouth, and she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yes, I am," and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then goes back and starts teaching. And I was like, because it wasn't funny, it was like, why did you do that? It wasn't funny at all. It was like, why, Jasmine? Why did you do that? And you know what? I kind of don't regret it because
personal information.
Yeah, I'm not a
no
loose,
snitch.
I'm not a snitch, and I don't have loose lips. So, yeah. Emily.
Yes, that's me. Hello.
What are your embarrassing stories?
I can't think of any, to be honest.
She's a perfect little child. What about that photo in the yearbook?
That's a very bad photo. It looks very bad. I've got my hand up in such a way. I'm actually asking a question, being stupid. But they decided to take a photo at that specific time. So that's nice. But like, I didn't
She looks like she's hailing it.
Not actually doing it. They just snapped the photo. I didn't even know there was a camera in the room, to be honest.
She was just raising her hand.
Like, I'm
to
laughing.
Ask a question.
I'm laughing and like having a good time with my friends and like doing dumb shit with my arms and being ridiculous. And they decided to snap the picture just as I do it. I was like, I look in the yearbook. It's from like year 8, and I'm like, oh my god,
immortalized.
Why is that in there? But yeah, I don't. Other than that, I didn't really have specific embarrassing moments other than people I used to hang out with.
Yeah.
Who aren't.
I had to call you out though about the yearbook thing. I had to. Don't.
Yeah, and
why you gotta do that, huh?
I have a lot of embarrassing stories.
Yeah, Ben.
Go for it.
Staring at you now.
I had braces. That's one thing we have written down.
We'll insert a photo.
Oh no.
He had a big old snaggle tooth and it was the cutest thing ever.
Oh no. It was horrible.
Oh, God. Oh, I remember when you were in some room and we had to do like term-long projects.
Oh no.
And you decided to do...
Oh no.
You had your laptop out, and this is... I sort of knew at this point, and you decided to do the whole project just before... On the day it was due, just before.
Oh shit! No, I did do that.
Why?
I still do that.
It was meant. It's like it was meant to be a long project. Like
It was a
you were
semester.
meant-
It's like imagine doing a university thesis in one day. It was
That's
that.
what Ben did, literally.
You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
But I did it, and
He
it
did
wasn't good. I think I got like a B minus.
What was it on?
It wasn't good. I got a B minus.
No, but like that's in. If you don't get a B, like A in that class, you're garbage.
Literally.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
That class was easy.
'Cause
Arguably.
one of the teachers didn't like you.
Mm-hmm. It was on viruses.
Oh.
And not gonna lie, I plagiarized my own study. Like I already had a PowerPoint presentation on it.
It's because Ben used to do year 11 maths and science in year 8. Because he's that kid. And everyone's like, how'd he get ducks? And it's like, because he already did college.
Not gonna lie, I actually did do that. I had year 11 math and chemistry, and I did a bunch
Embarrassing
of
stories.
Mm.
Go.
What else?
Weasel out of this.
This is worse. I was talking to the history teacher, and he and my friend group convinced me to run for SRC. Yeah, you just remembered this story, didn't you? Yeah, this is so bad. And I had to run as if I was giving a speech, like Hitler, because Hitler was very good at giving speeches.
Oh my god.
Do you remember this?
It's resurfacing now, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm
We
like,
filmed it. We've got it on someone's phone.
delete it. Like, actually delete it. Like, it was garbage, because I was still a nervous child. And I was not prepared. And this was like before I was a drama kid, so I went up and I literally froze. I'll give you a gist. The only thing I had planned. Never mind. Never mind.
It's too bad.
It's actually pretty bad. To be fair, the teacher did endorse it because denying that Hitler was good at giving speeches is denying history.
This is such like.
I'm shook. I'm actually shook.
You're treading uneven ground.
No, like, learn from history. As
yeah.
Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Look into people and really see who they are.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Don't be sheep. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be sheep.
Oh my goodness gracious. Do you remember? I can't remember her name. It was a year 4 maths class in primary school.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you had her, but you reminded me. We were doing maths and she was reading out the answers to us at the end of the lesson to make sure we got it all right and like we're checking our answers. And then for one of them, she's like, "Oh, the answer's 18." And everyone's like, "Oh, okay. Okay." And then keeps going. Was not 18. And she goes back and she's like, "Oh wait, no, it wasn't 18. It was 6. Oh my god, you guys are such sheep. Why didn't you correct me?" And it's like, we're literally 7 and you're a teacher. Like, it was
like...
so weird. It was the weird. I was like, I think that's why I hate maths.
Shaking a toddler. Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah, actually.
2 times 3 is not 18, it's 6.
Have you guys ever gotten a teacher fired?
You have.
Not personally, no, I can't say I have.
I've gotten 2 teachers fired. Well, I got one directly fired, and I was a part of getting one fired. So, one you'll be familiar with was Mrs. Brown. I'm naming and shaming. She was our PTG teacher, and I had that PTG class with a couple of other people. I'm not sure if you were in it.
Is
but
PTG like homeroom sort of type of thing?
Yeah.
Like the group you report to at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What were the ones in the middle of the day?
What?
I can't remember. I think it was your PTG group as well. So you would go to your homeroom
What was it called?
on Mondays and...
PTG. What does that even stand for?
I don't know.
Student
I can't remember.
something group.
Students.
It's like personal something group.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Personal teaching? I don't know. Anyways, so she was a Japanese teacher for a little bit as well, but
I actually don't know this story. What?
Really? Okay, she was only there for a little bit.
Until you got her fired.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was she told one of our students to take off their bag. This class goes for like 15 minutes and it's right before lunch and people don't want to be there. They would just want to get the hell out and go get some food because this is like after recess and it's lunch, and that lunch is like the big break. And so what ends up happening is she tells a student to take off their bag, and he happens to be black. and she's like, I don't like it that you have your bag on because it's gonna have a bomb in it. I know that it, like, I don't like it. I feel like you have a bomb in your bag.
What?
And so
what?
Yeah. And so this was Muzzer, beautiful Muzzer.
Oh my god.
And so we are he's the sweetest person ever. He is so sweet. And he always used to like wear his hoodie and like
nice boy.
He was the sweetest boy. And so she's like, take your bag off. I feel like you have a bomb in it. And everyone's like, what the fuck did you just say?
Excuse me?
And so he got so mad. I've never seen him mad before because he is a sweet boy. He gets up and he's like, this is bullshit. I'm going to go tell the principal on you. And so he leaves, goes and tells the principal. A week later, she's gone and we get interviewed individually about it. And Miss Davron is like, did Mrs. Brown say that Muzzer had a bomb in his bag? And I said, yes. And then we never saw her again.
Oh my
Wow.
Did you know about this?
Vaguely.
I literally have never heard about this until like recently.
I mean, good for him because he was like kind of quiet. So
yeah.
Good for him for stepping up.
Like immediately.
Taking responsibility and being like, I'm not having this.
Yeah, he got up. He got the hell up and was like, because she was beating around the bush. And then then she straight out said it. And he was like, nah, fuck this. This is bullshit. I'm going to go tell the principal. And I was like, yes. And then every single person in that class was like, fuck you, teacher. We're going to tell on you.
Teachers actually like make or break your school.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. We have so many
bad teachers.
Next segment. It's good teachers and bad teachers. Alright.
Excellent.
High school science murders. Good teachers.
That's such a vague...
High school science murders. Go, tell the story, Emily. High school good teachers. High school science murders.
Well, it was just like, because our teachers were on the sort of younger side, kind of.
Yeah, actually.
And so they would come up with cool stuff to do during class. And during science, they decided to do like crime, CSI, like crime stuff.
Like forensics.
Yeah, forensics, that's what it was. And they made up... like these murders. Who killed Barbie? Who killed this Elsa doll? Like that. It was fun. And like they'd section off a classroom and like make it look like a murder scene, and you'd go around and take samples of all these different things.
And this is for science.
Yeah, this is for science. You get graded on it, and you'd have to... and we were all in teams as well. And you'd have to figure out which one of the teachers did it, because they were all in on it. And so you'd go around... You go around the room, get your evidence, and then you'd go to the teachers and ask them questions. And a lot of the time it was kind of easy to see who was a suspect very quickly. And so when that happened, you could tell who was a suspect because we would go around and get fingerprints of all the teachers. So if you'd go up to a teacher that a group had already been to, they'd have like black fingerprints because they'd been fingerprinted so many times. And we'd do this, we'd have science like every day, so they just constantly have inky like fingers, and the teachers just had enough of it. Like I remember one of our teachers, he was a history teacher, and like we went up to him after another group had done it, and he was like, you want my fingerprints? Alright, come on, hurry up, do it. And we're like, oh my god. It was very fun.
And that's good teachers. What about...
Yes.
Okay, good teachers, high school science murder. What about bad teachers, high school science murder? Something you've told me about the other part when you took a testament from a teacher.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
From Miss Sue.
It was really bad.
From Miss Sue.
Let's just say it was a bit racist.
Canberra.
Canberra.
Australia.
Australia.
Why were they all so racist? Our entire there were too many. Like 2 is too many, and so the majority of our school population were Asians, and
we were literally the most multicultural school in this state, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an Aboriginal like school, and like lots of different nationalities would come there. It was like we're a cultural school. We
got the
acknowledge all
award
cultures. Yeah.
for most multicultural school in the area, and somehow we had
3 racist teachers so far. All right, go Emily. Hit them with it.
It was pretty bad. We think it was joking, but at the same time, she still said it.
It better be joking.
Miss Sue decided that it was a good idea to tell us while we were asking her questions about the murder thing to keep an eye on one of the teachers of colour. And we were like, okay, like nicest teacher, really cool, best class to have. We're like, alright, sure. And he was like, yeah, you better be careful.
You
might be a terrorist. We were like, okay, goodbye. We're gonna leave now. You're not any help to us.
And also, who was in your group? A Filipino man. And the other
Filipino man. Like, I couldn't. Just couldn't deal with
wasn't Kisa in your group?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
Where's she from again?
Pakistan.
Pakistan, yeah, I was gonna say.
It's like, are you serious?
Filipino man, Pakistani woman. Like,
And you're...
Like, watch out, he might be a terrorist.
It has to have been a joke. Like, I can't believe it.
it was, we were dumbfounded.
Imagine saying that and having, like, 5 students just stare right back at you. Like...
Because that's what they did.
She was very, very sketchy.
But yeah.
Oh
dude, those science labs, you know how you
that teacher was so sweet as well, wasn't he? The one that said...
got called a terrorist. He was the best.
For history. You loved him for history, right?
He was great in history.
He was such a good teacher. Good teacher, bad teacher.
Yeah, he played good
Segment.
teacher. We had this board thing in our history room, and like it would go up. It would be like ancient history, so it would be like go up this levels in ancient like China or Greece.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you had like fake money and all that, and it was really fun.
That's
and
so cool.
And it got to the part where because the teacher was at the top, obviously. And
I know everything about ancient Greece.
Some of the students were getting to the top, and it was like, oh, we have to battle them out now, and they had to like bear in mind this teacher does weightlifting, and they were like, he was like, you gotta arm wrestle me. Like,
yeah, he was a
my
PE
God.
teacher as well.
He was a PE history teacher.
And he was so enthused.
Yeah,
wasn't
and
he?
like did this arm wrestle, but they did it on carpet, and so he got like this like bad carpet burn on his elbow, and it like scarred a little bit.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. But it was a fun time. That was a fun.
That teacher was so...
That was a fun class.
I have another story with that teacher, Mr. Kosan. We're shouting you out. We're gonna give him a name.
Is Kosan great teacher?
Literally
Excellent.
the best.
Mm-hmm. Very
I
enthusiastic.
interrupted one of your stories. You can say something. Do you remember?
Talking about the science rooms.
Yeah.
You know how one button would turn off everything as a safety precaution?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Everything. Gas, lights, computer, everything.
Boom. Lights off.
It was raining, and so everyone was like, it was like inside play, and there was a heap and people watching movies.
Oh no.
And so...
Did you?
So they were watching The Notebook, and someone gave me $2 to turn it off. So I snuck my little hand in there, slapped the button, and ran for it.
Oh
And I got
God.
$2. Anyway,
Oh my
as
God.
you were saying.
Okay, Mr. Kosan. For sex education.
Oh,
Now
no.
this is an awkward phase in everyone's teenage life, but if you lean into it, it's literally the most fun thing ever. Like literally, it's so fun. Learn some sex education, everyone. And Mr. Kosan, I was in his class, and he grabbed out this dildo,
Oh my God.
and he pointed at me at the end of the table, like at the end of the class. We were on like other ends, and he's like, "Ben, push up that table." And I leaned it up, so it was like slanted towards him. And he threw this dildo like a spear across the classroom. And
It does a few flips.
it does a few flips, and the suction cup hits the table, and you hear it go wing, 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 wing.
Oh my God.
So funny.
It's
Oh
literally
my
one of
God.
my favorite stories. Sex education's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
You get to put condoms on things.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
man, I had a British teacher for my sex education class. You did too, Emily, yeah? You had
Not-
Mr. King's?
I didn't have.
I love Mr. King. He's the absolute
Oh,
best.
well, he was the one who grabbed a banana.
Yeah,
dildo.
it was like, it was so you could have it in the office and it wouldn't just be like a dick lying on your desk. So it was like encased in a banana, And then in class, you would, like, take off the top and it would just be a dick. And so he, like, he's like, all right. And we start a new, he's like, okay, we're starting a new, what are they called? Like
subject?
Subject? We're starting a new subject in PE. And this is, like, the theory in health, yeah. And so then he grabs this banana and we're like, what's going on here? Are we doing nutrition? And he's like, nope. And then he clips it off and it's this dick. We're like, holy shit.
Unsheathes it like a sword.
And then
Mighty Excalibur.
he turns to the whiteboard and the smartboard and he starts playing Let's Talk About Sex, Baby.
That's how you make a powerful entrance.
It was incredibly powerful, and yeah, it was really, really fun. It was really fun. It was so good.
One other thing that I've just remembered that is excellent. When you said you did a dare and like a naughty thing, that reminds me of something in primary school that you did.
No, I don't want to. Oh, okay.
It was
okay. Oh my god.
We were. This is like primary school.
This is
What's
a very
the story. Come on.
This is this is so cursed. I think this is my most embarrassing story. Okay,
come on. I actually don't know this. Come on.
And I hadn't seen Jasmine around at school for a little while. Like we weren't close friends then, but I hadn't seen her around. And this was like peak Slenderman phase of school.
Oh wait, no, this is. I thought you were going to tell a different story.
Okay, good.
Is this
Like,
better?
Yeah,
this is like
great.
peak Slenderman.
You have to tell that other story now.
No,
everyone's freaking out about like Slender's game.
Everyone was playing it, and people would go to their friend's
Yeah.
house if they couldn't play it, and go play it at their friend's house. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
And so Jasmine hadn't been at school, and we didn't know what was happening at this time. And there's this like foresty part of the primary school. There's lots of tall trees in like one sort of area.
That's where Slenderman hides.
Yeah,
Literally,
and all
10-year-old brain is like,
yeah, and all of a sudden we start seeing these Slenderman type notes appear, and we're like, oh my god, like little kid brain, you're like, oh my god, he's here now, and this is happening, and then like that happens, and these notes start appearing, and we're like, this is the craziest shit ever. And then it wasn't until I want to say maybe late high school that I found out that it was little old Jasmine who went around and posted notes and just skittered away.
Yep, and I was like homeschooling.
You put like Slenderman notes everywhere, Jay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Scared everyone. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
I drew them myself because I didn't have a printer. They were a work of art. Beautiful. And I remember hearing from, like, because I called people, because I didn't go to school the next day. Don't come to school the next day.
Oh no.
And I would call people and be like, hey, so, like, what happened at school today? And they'd be like, oh my god, you never guess what happened. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, tell me more. But yeah, that's how I knew people saw them. But yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the sleepover that we had to prepare for camp.
The school sleepover.
The school sleepover. We all slept in the school.
We slept in the school of a Friday, Saturday. That was awful.
It was so cursed, and we had watery Milos the next morning.
Watery Milos.
Milo in water.
They didn't even have enough milk to spare, Ben. It was disgusting.
Water and
yes, it was a time. But I dared somebody. Okay, it was like 3 a.m. at this point, and I went to sleep in the room that was playing High School Musical, even though I didn't like High School Music. Oh yeah, so there was like a classroom of like three classrooms, and they weren't really separated. They were
separated. What did you dare them to do?
I will get to that. I'm setting up a scene, and so it was
saying a scene.
Okay,
it's a goddamn arms race.
And so they're all showing different movies, and I decided to go sleep in the one that's my classroom, even though they were showing High School Musical, because I was anxious. And so I ended up sleeping next to and near my friends, and we stayed up really late, and we were like waited for everybody to go to sleep and made sure everyone was like really quiet and like, you know, snoring, sleeping. Sure. And I'm like, hey friend, put toothpaste in that kid's hair. And they're like, okay. And so
oh my god,
she does it, and then I'm like, oh my god, you did it. And then we were talking whatever, and then we went to sleep, they went to sleep, and then I took my mattress, my little sleeping bag, and I moved the hell away so that when everyone woke up, I wouldn't be connected to the crimes.
Oh my god.
And guess what? No one knew until right now.
You're such a gremlin.
That's similar to the Slenderman story where I didn't find out until later on. And I was like, wait, that was you? Because it was two perspectives. We went to the same primary school. So I saw that kid run to the bathroom with toothpaste in his hair. And I was like, oh my god, what happened? And then we find out that, and I'm like, okay, now the story is complete.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my god. You're such a gremlin.
Yeah.
No, the mystery video is about you.
I was a little bit. I'm a better person now.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been going to therapy. I've been working on myself. All right.
Good teacher, bad teacher. What about Miss? You were talking about Miss Sue suing someone.
Okay, so we had this weird class that only a few select students got into. It was called Big Picture. We might do a future episode on it later. And they had conflict. There was 2 teachers teaching. One was named
Jeffrey,
and the other was named Sue. And what ended up happening was Jeffrey left, and Sue, I think, is still there. Jeffrey is a writer, or wanted to be, and...
Didn't we have code names? Okay, this is a huge tangent, but we're using fake names, obviously. But didn't we actually have code names for every teacher?
Wombat.
We used to actually have we called them Wombat, Giraffe, something else.
Oh my god.
Do you remember this?
Not really.
Yeah, we called Jeffrey Wombat, and we called Sue... Because he looked like a wombat.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway, what ends up happening is, later on, I found this out like a couple of months ago. Jeffrey worked alongside Sue in this program, and he wrote an article about it and how shit it was and how fucking batshit crazy she was, because she is. She used to have a mental breakdown like once a month at her students, but to be fair, 2 of them got electrocuted, 1 almost blinded another one, and then another one just kept breaking paintings.
That's just
public school.
That's public school.
Oh man. And so what ends up happening is Jeffrey writes that article, Sue finds out about it, and I'm pretty sure Sue is suing Jeffrey because for like slander.
For defamation. How dare he?
Of character. But yeah, she was crazy.
But yeah, the program we were in, Big Picture, did you get another teacher fired?
Yes, I did.
Crap teachers. Crap teachers more. Bad teachers.
Okay, so I ended up leaving that school a year early to go do my year 10 at college. And I had a teacher in year 10 who was teaching the same program, but it was just in a different place. And he called my mum in for a parent-teacher interview and was like, can you please tell Jasmine to stop correcting me when I'm teaching? It makes me feel embarrassed and like I can't teach.
What a child.
And my mum was like, okay. So she talks to me about it and she's like, okay, Jasmine, your teacher has told me this. And I'm like, oh, well, he's a little bitch. But he was teaching a class that was like, it was very different from the one at Waniasa. It had mostly people who actually had learning difficulties and needed this program to succeed. And it wasn't like really gifted, smart, like passionate, motivated students like it was, whatever they marketed it as. It was like people who were just trying to get through school, who had stuff going on at home, who had like mental illnesses and physical like stuff going on. They were having a hard time and they just needed someone to be direct, clear, and not a piece of shit. And so I was like, this man, I was correcting him and I was like, can you please start from the beginning? You did not explain that at all. What's the schedule? What do we need to do right now? And then he would go on for hours talking about what we had to do. And I'm like, you could have summarized that in like 5 minutes. And then people would always come to me to ask me what to do. And I was like, okay, I got you. Oh. And so what ended up happening was at the end of the year, he also told me I couldn't succeed in normal public school, and I did, so,
You got very good grades in normal public school, thank you very much.
Yeah, and...
What sort of teacher says
he was nasty. And so I end up talking to our beautiful, beautiful principal, Julie, at the end of the year. And because I'm enrolling for mainstream school, and she's helping me with it, and I'm picking my classes and getting excited for year 11. And she's like, Jasmine, what happened with this teacher? And nothing's going to leave this room. You can tell me. I'm just sorting out some things. And yeah, you know. And I was like, well, blah, 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 blah. Told her all this shit. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then next year, come back to school. Where's this teacher? Fired.
I love Julie. Julie gave me a swift handshake.
She's amazing, and I love her.
I think she commented on the first and second episode saying we had good tonic.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means.
We're a perfect
I don't know what
mix.
it means, but I think it's good.
It's when you turn 18, you'll know. You'll just instantly know.
You got some good tonic over here.
No, we're a perfect mix.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bad teachers.
Bad
Awful.
teachers. Here's a few stories that happen at every school. Literally every school. So a male teacher and a teenage girl go to leave the room, and the girl says, oh, I want to take my bag. Can I go to the bathroom? And the teacher says, why are you taking your bag, teenage girl? This happened in my science classroom in year 10, and the girl could have handled it better. I mean, the man shouldn't have been saying that to begin with. Like, you should know you're a teacher. But the girl yells out, like, I'm on my period! Like, extremely loudly. She had to get moved from that class. Like, actually.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's the worst. When I hear about stuff like that and then I know the person and they're a good person and a good student who doesn't mess up in class, and yet the teacher still asks them, it's like, I'm not going to run away from the class. I just need to go to the bathroom.
It's like, why are you taking your bag to the bathroom? It's like, I'm
not
not a foolish student. I want to learn. I'm going to come back. Like,
yeah.
That reminded me. I used to go to the shops close to by the school at lunch every day, just because you're not allowed to, but I would just go out of the bounds and go anyway.
At Waniasa, you're not supposed to jump off campus. Yeah,
you're not meant to leave the school grounds, but I did it anyway. Yeah, I know, I'm crazy. But the reason why I'm saying is because my mum would write me notes and I could just date them as needed. So she would be like, Jasmine is allowed to go to the shops today, and then I just put the date down the bottom when I needed it. And so anytime they'd be like, oh, what are you doing? I'd be like, oh, here's a note from my mum, and then just kind of keep going. I go and get myself a chocolate milk, and then come back, I'm like, yeah.
God, you're such a gremlin.
I was a really big gremlin.
And here's another thing that happens at every school. The teacher, he says, guys, you should really be listening to me. You shouldn't be talking. And they spend the whole class lecturing the students about how they're not paying attention.
That's what that teacher did that I got fired. Yeah.
The teacher you got fired did that. A lot of teachers do that. My drama teacher in year 12 did that. And they would spend most of the time talking to the students about how they don't listen. And it's like, maybe if you just got to the point, like, be concise in your speaking, we would only have to listen for 5 minutes instead of focusing for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And having only one of those sentences actually be useful.
It's just frustrating because you tune out. And you're just like, I've heard this a million times. This is just, like, I know.
I mean, you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Like,
just get on with it, please. Oh my gosh.
Okay. What's your favorite teacher then? We'll finish it off on a good teacher note.
Well, because I saw him the other day. From college, Nick.
You saw him the other day?
Yes,
he's my favorite teacher too.
He was very good, like kind of sarcastic and sort of in that sort of way.
Tell that amazing story that you told me about Nick.
About Nick?
Amazing.
Wait, do I know Nick? He's the bearded man. The
beautiful beard.
Nice beard man.
Yeah, oh my god. He hit me with his bike once.
Oh.
Bicycle, not motorbike in the road, bicycle.
He, like, when it was really cold, he'd put on, like, a thermal suit to ride, like, bike home, and he was, like, trudging through, and he's got his glasses on so he didn't get, like, cold in his eyes, and, like, he came around the corner really quick, and he's like, oh, sorry, Jay, and then kept going. I was like, but...
Hell of a story.
Yeah, it was amazing, honestly. The story where a kid was disrupting his class.
Yes. So
Yeah.
there was this kid who's like going around disrupting classes, and he walks into Nick's class. Big mistake. He stupid walked in to the room, like yelled some crap, and then walked out. It was like dumb. And I'm doing like a test in a different room, but the door's open. There's a hallway, and this kid runs off, and then Nick comes out, and he's like being direct with this kid. And he's just like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like that thing, just being like, why did you do that? Like, don't be an idiot and like just teach her stuff. And then the kid starts to listen, and he's like, come on, man, you're better than this. You can do better than that. Like, you don't have to be doing stupid stuff like that.
Because Nick was that kind of kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he gets it.
Yeah, he tells stories of that all the time. He's like, I was a stupid kid, and I found my love and passion for learning later on in life.
Yeah.
And so he's so good. He's so good. And then,
he's just being very direct with this student and, like, respectful and not being like, you're a dumb little kid, you know? He was like, you're growing up now. You need to learn to be more of an adult, like, take care of yourself, take responsibility. And the kid starts to listen. He's like, all right, I'm sorry I did that. And then they have a handshake, and it's very respectful.
Handshake.
And then they walk off. And it's just like, that was the perfect handling of a situation.
Diffused.
Where the teacher doesn't make the student feel like they're
garbage.
Awful.
Yeah. Too many times when a student just needed to be like, hey, what's going on? Like, how are you? Like, what's going on behind this? They would just yell at them and be like, I can't believe you've done this. You are the worst, and fuck you for being yourself in this point in time.
My favorite teacher, I'm going to shout him out, Elliot Davis. He has a really good website called Davis Foundation, I think. He set it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Davis Foundation. I might actually link it in the description.
Do it.
It's really good for studying, and he's like, I still play chess with him sometimes. He's like a good friend of mine at this point. I'd actually love to have him on at some point.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a cool guy.
He's really interesting. Like, he's a really smart dude.
Mm-hmm. I love him.
I do too.
And
Nick.
You're going to say Nick again.
I love Nick so much. And another teacher that I really liked before she left was Ellie. She was an amazing English teacher. I really liked her.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't really have her as a teacher, but I remember we went.
She had an aura.
An aura. The chakras were aligned.
Nick.
Third eye opened.
Nick and Ellie were just something else. Like they were incredible.
Yeah, just like good teachers have good effects on students. And then when you see them, like, because I remember we were in the shopping centre close to our college, and you see Ellie, and I'm like, I don't know this teacher, but you walk up to her and you're like, oh my god, this is like, it was like a great moment. It was really nice, and I was like, wow,
mystical creature sighting.
This is really good.
Do you know what? Another good story about Nick. He once got really happy and excited that everyone didn't immediately go sit at the back of the class. They all came and sat at the front. He's like, oh, no one's sitting at the back of the class. And like, he's like, usually everyone goes and sits at the back of the class. Oh my god. And then he got really excited when a student ran out of ink in their pen through the essay, and he's like, that means you've been writing a lot. That's so good.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Elliot was nice. He told me off because I was a stupid kid. But
made
like,
him
other
cry
than that,
once.
sorry.
You made Elliot.
Oh
cry.
yeah, I made. Okay, we'll link that video. I made Elliot cry because I was so like I kept distracting everyone perfectly, and then I would like literally like on the dot he'd be like bah, and then I'd be like ah. I don't remember it. I wish I could have had it recorded because it was like a continuous distracting. I think I got like 20 minutes in. Like I was on my game for distracting that day. And then I recognized that I was doing it, and I was like, I'm genuinely sorry, sir. I'm like genuinely sorry. I'm gonna put my phone on my desk face down, and you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it. I'm not gonna talk. I'm literally not gonna talk. And then at that instant, he almost opened his mouth to start teaching. I got a phone call.
Wow.
I got a phone call on that instant, and I turned my phone around.
Wow.
And I answered it, and I said, hello.
Because it was me.
Yeah, it was Jake. And it was like on the dot, like perfectly timed, that I said I wasn't going to pick up my phone and I wasn't going to talk. I picked up my phone and I talked.
I love that I had a part in this.
And he literally walked out the room because literally he was a part of the distraction as well because I was talking to him and I was talking to the class. But I said I am going to be the one who removes myself so we can learn, like everyone. But so there's a photo of him like laugh crying.
He's got like a tissue to his eye.
Like he walked out of the classroom and he was like crying into his tissue because I had distracted and like.
Oh my god.
He's a good teacher, but I'm a good.
It was just that day.
I'm good at distracting.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Alright.
That's so good.
Let's come up to our last segment. Jasmine's book club.
Whee!
What's the book?
The book. The book is it's a comic, and I started reading it in year 11. Yeah. You know what it is. It's all over my walls. Just because we're talking about school, it was something that I really liked reading. I've been choosing a lot of books that I wrote in my own personal time, because I feel like I haven't read a lot of those books. So I wanna get rid of them quickly in this segment. So it's Snot Girl. It's a beautiful comic.
Snot Girl.
Yes.
Okay, if you've heard of that, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, literally. It's a comic written by Brian O'Malley. He was the same guy that wrote... Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. He wrote Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, how did you find this? And then the guy who wrote Scott Pilgrim...
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
also
it might
really
actually
popular.
be very popular.
Yeah, it is.
Oh no, I made a promise I can't keep.
Yeah, so the guy that wrote and
Don't
did
share.
Scott Pilgrim did Snot Girl, and he works on it alongside this girl named Leslie. I can't remember her last name. She's an amazing artist, and she really likes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as well.
I've seen the art because Jasmine liked it so much she ripped it up. And,
doesn't make sense.
and she used it as wallpaper on her room. It's pretty funny. I love it. It's literally right in front of me right now, and
it's beautiful,
it's
and I
a
love
beautiful artwork. It works as soundproofing for when we're recording.
Thank you, Snot Girl, for soundproofing this video.
Sponsorship.
Please.
Yeah. So,
That's it.
would you like to recommend anything, Emily?
A show?
A show, Doctor Who?
No.
You British fuck.
Alright. You British.
Oh my god.
You palmy.
I mean, I was gonna say, I'm so fucking.
You were gonna say Doctor Who?
Because I was been watching Top Gear, so it's.
Oh my god.
Watching old episodes of Top Gear and just losing my mind.
And on that
It's
bombshell.
really good.
It's on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell, we end this episode.
Mhm.
And his name is. See you guys later.
Farewell.
Have fun. You
Goodbye.
want to send him off, Emily?
Toodaloo, everybody.
You're so British.
Don't do drugs, kids.